Hi, friends, and welcome back to Elevate with Erica. I am so excited that you're here today because I'm going to break something down for you that I'm going through basically in real time. So, you know how sometimes God starts whispering something to your heart softly over and over again, or maybe you even think you hear that voice out loud, right? And you pretend that you don't hear it. Like, I'm not so sure you're right, God. You know? That's been me lately. And for the last couple months, I've been feeling this tug to let go of something that has meant a lot to me. And it's something that I once prayed for. And it's something that I've shared about here, my excitement over. It's something that's brought me so much joy and connection and purpose over the past year. It's something that I honestly dreamed about doing since I was a little girl. I used to have friends come to my house for sleepovers, and I would force them. I mean, in retrospect, it seems like maybe I forced them to basically do these dances, these workouts, all of these different things that I would choreograph. Okay. So I'm talking about teaching strength classes at the Stoke. Something I dreamed about since I was a little girl, finally did at the age of 39. And if you know me, you know that I don't ignore whispers easily. I think I have a pretty strong intuition. But this one, these whispers from God, I did for a couple months. I just kept brushing it off, saying, no, God, like that can't be right. Like maybe next week I'll feel different, you know? Maybe I'm just going through something emotionally right now. Maybe that's not God. Like what's happening? Give me another sign, God. A bigger one. I need a bigger one. And looking back, it's funny how we ask him for clarity, but when he gives it, we still want more confirmation, right? So, owning the shift. When I finally sit still long enough to listen, I realize that what God is asking me to do with these strength classes isn't about loss, it's about alignment. So, what I've heard God telling me the last 2 months is that I need to let them go. And it really didn't make sense to me because I was so excited about this opportunity and walking into a business that welcomed me with open arms and took a chance on me as an instructor. I taught the first public class that they had on their first day open. But I'm at a different season of life now because at that same season of life I was in when I said yes to that, yes, I also said yes to Make Wellness, and never would have imagined that that yes would have turned me and my family's life all the way around in all the best ways within a year. However, I also said yes to a lot of things over the past year and a half. After walking through some painful seasons, I was determined, and I know this is going to make sense to some of you, or at least I hope so. After those painful seasons, I was determined to rebuild, to prove something to myself, maybe even to the world. So I said yes to everything. The way I was describing it to in my therapy session last week was I was going to build this wall of success around me to protect myself from pain. So every opportunity, every idea, every collaboration, I was saying yes. Now, it was things that I wanted to do, but sometimes we can say yes too much, right? Like we only have so much of ourselves to give. But my fear was gone, but also so was my focus. So I wanted to build this giant wall of success around me so that nothing could hurt me again. But here's the truth, success doesn't protect you from pain, right? It just keeps you busy enough that you think you can avoid feeling it forever. And maybe you can for a little bit, but not forever. So now I'm in a place where I want to simplify. And it actually is part of the reason why I started therapy over the summer, because I realized that you can't stay so busy that your pain goes away from the past, that all of your problems go away. They catch up to you, right? And I see how quickly my business is building with Meg, my team is growing. And I know that internally, that self is not ready to give that kind of success the Erica that it would need to really bloom into what it could become. Okay, so now I'm in this place where I want to simplify. That's why I started going to therapy, to start really working on things, start shedding things, start taking the weight off of struggles that I have been carrying the burden of for a lot of my life. And I want to pour into the most fruitful things in my life, like my family and my Make Wellness business and traveling and the hobbies that I've abandoned, the hobbies that bring me joy that aren't related to work, even though I love what I do, right? I think it's important that we have things that we love and we get paid for. I think it's amazing if you can figure that out. But I also think it's very important to have hobbies that we do because they're fun, and to make time for that. And that's what I've lost having time for. So I'm ready to dive into what this episode is really about, and that is releasing to attract more. So we're letting go of things that served you maybe for a season, but they don't anymore. Because when you keep holding on to what's no longer aligned, your hands aren't open to receive what's next, right? And life is constantly evolving, and change is a great thing. Change brings new experiences into our life. And, for me, teaching those classes was never just about the fitness, you guys. Like, I have been a part of the Body platform since 2016, started coaching clients in 2019 through the Body platform. I've already been heavy into fitness before I started teaching those strength classes last year. What that was about for me was about connection in person and empowering others in person and helping others feel strong. But lately I have felt my passions shifting just a bit. My heart beats faster when I'm mentoring my Make team, watching those women and men step into leadership, create legacy, building impact and income, and believe in themselves again. Like watching them join my team and be like, I don't know how to build a business online. I've never done anything like this before. I'm not good at this social media thing. I'm not good at selling. I'm not good at talking on camera. I am watching these women go from joining my team like that to moving to, like, I am about to change my family's life with this thing. My goal is to leave my full-time job, like, and sharing these big, big dreams, like they're dreaming again. And my heart beats faster when I am mentoring them and seeing them evolve like that and create legacy, building impact and income for their families. So my passion lies in helping people find natural resolutions to their health and wellness struggles. Insert these Make bioactive precision peptides that have, given me the vehicle to be able to do that. And it also lies in creating experiences with my boys before they're grown and gone. My youngest is going to be turning 12 next week. My oldest turned 15 in July. The years with them under the same roof as me, I'm watching them shrink really, really fast, right? And my passion lies in building a beautiful, passionate, fun marriage. My husband and I have done some intense rebuilding over the last year and a half after we both had divorce lawyers in 2023. And I'm so excited to build this strong marriage with him. My passion lies in traveling with people that I love, in learning new things and inspiring millions in my lifetime. And that is where my fire is right now. And I want to make sure that my time and my energy are fueling that fire, not dimming it. So that's where I start to wrestle with, okay, is all this time I'm spending over here teaching these fitness classes, is it really feeding those deep desires and passions that I'm feeling in my life today? Is it fitting in this season? It served me in a season. It absolutely did. And it's an experience that I will cherish and talk about when I'm 80 years old. I know it. And I'll be honest, I wrestled with this decision because I didn't want it to feel like quitting. I am not a quitter, but sometimes I think we confuse letting go of things with giving up. And that was why I was kind of ignoring God's whispers to me. But letting go and giving up are not the same thing. Letting go doesn't mean that you've failed, it means that you've grown, right? Like I did that. I am so proud of myself for doing that. I got out of my comfort zone and taught my first big strength class in a beautiful studio like that at age 39. you know, it means that you've grown enough to recognize when something has fulfilled its purpose. And that's how I feel. That fulfilled something for me. And I'm so proud of it. But I'm trusting that there's more waiting for me on the other side of this release. So next week is going to be my last week teaching, and I'm still taking a big, deep breath over that. And I will still fill in for people as I can and as needed, both as they align. I'm doing a lot of traveling right now, so as I can and also as needed. And instead of feeling fear, I actually feel a lot of peace and I feel excitement for what's next for me. And I know that this is a door that I'm supposed to close. Like I know it with so much certainty. And when we're obedient to those nudges, God always opens another one. So I know with certainty that I'm supposed to close this door. The slightly scary part is that I don't know the next one God's going to open for me. I don't know what that will be or when it will be. And that can feel slightly scary. But that's faith and that's trust and knowing that I'm supposed to close this one. So today I want to ask you, what are you holding on to that's keeping you from receiving more? What in your life once served you, but now just kind of takes some space in your schedule, your mind, your energy? Maybe it's a side project that started as a passion, but now it feels like pressure. Maybe it's a friendship that you've been keeping alive out of guilt more than joy. Maybe it's a job, a commitment, or even a habit that once gave you purpose but now leaves you drained. Or maybe it's something internal, like an old identity or a title. I can relate to that one. Or a version of yourself that you keep trying to live up to, even though God is calling you into something new. Letting go doesn't mean that you don't appreciate what that season brought you. It means that you're wise enough to recognize when it's time to graduate to the next one. And there is no shame in that, my friend. We outgrow clothes, homes, even the music that we once loved. So why wouldn't we outgrow certain roles and rhythms and relationships too, right? And if you're unsure where to start, I want to tell you a few things that have helped me. Since, like I said, I started therapy over the summer, one of the things that he had me incorporate was journaling a little bit. I try to do it every single morning, and I've been pretty good because there's no pressure on it needing to be some 3-page journal entry. Sometimes it's a few sentences. Sometimes it's a few things I'm grateful for. So these are some of the things that have helped me figure out what I need to release in my life. I want you to notice your energy. What drains you and what fills you up? And pay attention to what you dread versus what excites you. That's where your clarity is going to live. And this was one of the things that started to make this really clear for me that I needed to let go of teaching these strength classes is I used to get really excited to go in and my energy would pump up when I knew the class was getting ready to come in. And now I was starting to dread Mondays because I teach Monday at 6 a.m. I was starting to dread the start to my week. Then I have to teach Tuesday at 7 a.m. And I was on Sunday starting to dread my week. And that was why I left the corporate world that I was working in before and started creating my own business from home. So to find myself back in that space on a Sunday, dreading my Monday and Tuesday, all because I was teaching a couple classes each morning, that told me a couple things, right? That was obviously eye-opening for obvious reasons. But it also made me recognize that those class participants and the studio where I'm teaching at, they deserve better than that. Those people deserve more energy and a better vibe than what I'm able to bring right now. So the next thing is journaling on alignment. Ask yourself, does this still align with who I am becoming? Maybe it got you to where you are today, right? And then that feels like, oh, I'm supposed to hang on to this because this got me like to here. But does it align with who you're becoming next, right? That's the graduation piece. And then also release with gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you're losing, thank that chapter for what it taught you. And gratitude, it closes doors with grace, right? Like I talk about this all the time too. Like I said, I was aligned with the Body Company as a coach since 2019. And when they got rid of their coaches, their partner network, I found it hard to be angry. There were some things that I didn't agree with how they were handled as just a business. However, I couldn't help but feel gratitude because in 2016, when I started as just a body customer, that mom was at home starting her life over after a divorce, navigating co-parenting with 2 little boys, doing 3 hours in commuting a day, running a government department, and trying to figure out how the heck she was also going to start feeling better in her skin and finding energy again and finding her confidence again. And the only answer to that was the body platform because I never would have been able to get up and go to a gym consistently with what my commitments were at that time and my little guys at home. So body changed my life in 2016. Totally. I mean, I wouldn't even be with building my business with Make Wellness had it not been for body being a chapter in my life. And the last thing is to pray or reflect on peace, whichever one you'd rather do. Pray. If you're not a praying kind, I respect that. Pray or reflect on peace because sometimes peace doesn't mean easy. It means right. So it's important that you really take time to honor that it's tough. I mean, even this is the first time I've actually talked about this out loud about teaching these strength classes. First time I've really talked about them out loud outside of my therapy session. And I can feel the emotions coming up. So I know next week is not going to be easy. When I see each of my classes leave, that's going to be tough. but I still know this is the right thing to do. So all I can do is pray that God helps me get through that, helps me close this door so I can be ready for what He has next for me. So if you're scared to let go, I want you to remember this. God never asked you to release something without preparing something greater to replace it. So don't be afraid to prune your life. Prune and be patient because it is on His time. And pruning always looks like loss at first, but it's what creates room for new growth. So I want you to ask yourself, where is God asking me to create space? What am I afraid might happen if I actually let go? And what might happen if I don't? Because maybe what feels like an ending right now is actually your beginning. So here's to trusting the nudge, right? Here's to releasing what's run its course. And here's to making room for what's next. So thank you to the Stoke for a beautiful season of my life. And thank you, friends, for walking through these seasons with me because having you be open to these conversations about growth and alignment and faith, that's what Elevate with Erica has always been about. It's learning to elevate through every single chapter, even the ones that require us to let go. Until next episode, friends.